Hello my friend and welcome back. My name is Hana and today let's talk about week 4 of my esthetician schooling experience. If you're curious about what I'm wearing on my face, what I mentioned in today's video, and what I'm doing in other pockets of the internet, I always have links in the description box down below, so don't forget to check them out. None of my links are sponsored or affiliated, and I do not copy and paste anybody else's sponsored or affiliated links. So if you do decide to shop my links down below, you are shopping clean links. But before I get into the video, can I just point out, so I can just get it out of the way, my spray tan is finally starting to fade, and look at this big brick of color just around my neck, and look, I look like I have vitiligo, but I don't. Ugh. I just, my teacher claimed that the spray tan was the best quality and professional quality, and the fade, it won't fade really. I've had better with St. Tropez from Ulta. My mousse tan looked so much better than whatever the hell this is. So there's that. But let's talk about week 4. I feel like the things that I'm learning in school are the things that I'm picking up in between the lines, and not actually what's on the lesson plans in the curriculum. So this week we are on waxing with soft and hard wax. But we had the 4th of July holiday on a Tuesday this week, and my teacher was out Monday and Wednesday, so we have a temporary teacher or an assistant teacher. I don't know if my brain is moving faster than my mouth. I don't know if you need to put in a certain number of hours as a teacher to become an esthetician teacher, because they don't get their teaching credentials in the same way that a math or bio or woodshop teacher has to have in order to work in the public school system. They just have to be an esthetician. But again, I don't know if you can just be I don't know if I get my state license and then I can just become a teacher right out the gate. That would be interesting if it worked that way, but then it kind of makes sense, because when I look at my teacher, has she runs her own spa and she has experience, for being in this industry for a long period of time. She has to be I don't know, late 50s, early 60s. And she's been doing this for years. She worked on My Wife and Kids, and that show came out in 2000s, I think. So there's that. But we have this other teacher, and she has to be either the same age as me or just slightly older. And she's really sweet. She's really awesome. She's been with us since week 2. But she's kind of just a second pair of eyes for my teacher, to make sure, that we're not destroying each other's skin and things like that. But because my teacher was going to be absent, she was going to take over, so we had to put a pause on waxing. So we technically started waxing Thursday of last week. So we had Thursday, Friday. But my teacher was gone Monday. We didn't have school Tuesday, and she was gone Wednesday. So then that leaves Thursday, Friday to continue waxing. That's 4 days. Next week, on Tuesday, I have my practical for waxing. I'm assuming we're doing some waxing on the Monday, so that gives me 5 days of waxing. But we'll see what happens. So really 4 full days. And then Wednesday, I have my written test. Our practical is on soft wax. It's not even on hard wax. We have to use soft wax, and it's on the leg. So there's that. And I don't know, I guess I can tell you the things that I know about waxing, because that's the whole point of these videos. So soft wax it adheres to the hair and to the skin, and it's mostly for hair, fine hair, your mustache and things like that. The coarser the hair, the harder it is for the hair to be lifted by the soft wax. And soft wax is, the wax that they lay down and then you put the sheet on top. You lay the wax down in the direction of the hair growth and you pull against the hair growth when it comes to soft wax. But like I said, it's mostly for fine hair. So if you have very coarse, like pubic or, I don't know, like body hair, just coarser hair, use a hard wax. You can only go over the same spot once with soft wax. Hard wax, you can kind of go over a maximum of 3 times or so, but you can apply against the hair and pull with the hair. You can apply with the hair and pull against the hair. There's not really like a specific direction that you have to go with. They did tell us that we had to go in like a figure 8 kind of shape. So when you lay down the wax, you have to go down and around and do like this figure 8 thing. That's interesting to me because in the years that I've been a model for my friends that were students in their esthetician class and all the years that I've gone to European Wax Center, you would lay down the wax and kind of like flick it at the end so you can get a bit of a lip, but that's all you really needed. And then you pull your wax. I don't know what this figure 8 thing is, and it's kind of hard to do because like you have to kind of like lift your applicator in a way, and it can get really sticky. I don't get it, but with the soft wax they're telling us to just lay it straight. Let me know in the comments down below if you're an esthetician or you're going to school and you understand this a lot. Maybe you work at European Wax Center and you're like, girl, which European Wax Center are you going to? Because that's old. We haven't been doing that for forever. I remember when I started going to European Wax Center, they would have you go on like doggies, like all fours, to get like the butt strip. And now they make you butterfly. So there's that. That's how long I've been waxing. But that's what I learned about waxing. I'm confident in my practical because I've been doing this for so long. I have talked to all of my girlfriends about waxing since the dawn of time. I've had people ask me if I'm an esthetician. I've had my girls at European Wax Center ask me if I was an esthetician because I would talk to them about products and things like that. So I'm confident. Like this is the realm that I live in. But because my teacher was gone for those 2 days, it was just supposed to be like review and we were doing facials and things like that. But all the other teachers also got their holiday approved, so she was bouncing around between the different classrooms. She was like the only teacher there. And she's not like an official teacher. She's like a substitute is what they call her. So how does that make sense? And again, what am I paying for? Because I'm not paying to go to a school to get knowledge on my industry and skill set from someone who isn't even qualified to be a teacher yet. And nothing against this woman. She's really great and I really love her, but she's still learning and she could be anybody. I appreciate that she's a student like myself where, she really knows her stuff and she knows what's going on, but that doesn't mean that she couldn't just be like one of my classmates who's just there because like they have to do something and they kind of like makeup and they kind of thought esthetician was only makeup. So doing the skincare stuff, it's not clicking for them. And I don't know, I guess I say this every time I talk about like my experience. I have to remind myself that I am just clocking in hours so I can get my state license and go about my business. I think what really bothers me is that it doesn't matter what you get on these finals and these practicals and like these tests and whatever. Your grade doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because when you go and you take your state test, they're not putting what school you graduated from, on your license. They're not putting what your grade point average was. They're just putting, hey, as of this date, they passed, our state testing and blah, blah, blah. Like, there you go. Goodbye. So it doesn't matter. And like, it's very much like C's get degrees. Like you just have to pass the module. Like you just have to do enough to pass the modules and go to the next one. So then like you are passing the classes and then you can move along. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's it. There's not even scholarships. Like when you go to like a normal like university, state school kind of situation, or even a community college, there's an incentive to do good in school because there are other scholarships and things that open up to you. So then like, you can get additional financial aid in that capacity. That doesn't apply here. In trade schools, you just have to get through it. And so that's what I keep reminding myself, is that I just have to get through it, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. My teacher played another YouTube video, not even from, okay, so the quality of the wax that we have is really garbage. It's garbage. It's not good. The quality isn't good. This is not a wax that I would keep and save and work on other people. I'm only keeping the product so, I have something to use for school. And then like whatever I don't finish using, I will probably donate to my school and be like, here you go, take it, because I don't want it. I'm not going to use it. But my teacher played another YouTube video to show us how to do a leg wax with soft and hard wax. Wasn't even from the same company. Wasn't even, from the school or one of the schools, because it's a bit of a chain. It was just someone else's like YouTube video. I don't know if she's an esthetician. I don't know. It just looked like, when you watch someone do like a nail video and they're just zoomed in and showing you how to do things. That was it. And again, I was thinking, oh my God, what am I paying for? Because I know all of this. I've watched tons of YouTube videos on my own. You're watching a YouTube video right now, learning from me. So that was kind of annoying and frustrating. And again, I had to really like remind myself, I just need those hours. But I overheard one of my classmates talking to my teacher about like their Instagram account. At orientation, they told us that, we should open Instagram accounts and then like document all the services that we do, so then we could build a portfolio so we can show that to clients. And we had to sign a image waiver that said like, basically the fine print was just like, anything that has like the school logo in it, you're signing off rights, so that like that is free for us to use, for promotions and blah, blah, blah. You didn't have to sign it. I didn't sign it, but they were annoyed with me that I didn't sign it. And as like a model and a photographer, I know these things. Like I know that like you should probably read those fine prints on those contracts, because that would be someone taking my photography, my likeliness, and then making money off of it to put in brochures or videos or websites or whatever, and they don't have to pay me for it. And that's not going to happen. I'm going to get paid for the work that I do. And so they were annoyed with me, and I told them, I'm like, I was telling other students, like you can always go in and change your mind on that. You don't have to sign off on that. And I think a few of them did. So the deans kind of already are like annoyed with me. But one of my classmates has one of these Instagram profiles, and she was talking about like how she had someone reach out to her and like wanted to get waxed. And my teacher was like, well, don't advertise, on your accounts, whatever that you're doing it, like you always advertise that you are a student, that you're not, doing paid services, blah, blah, blah. But if you DM them, you can set up a price that way. And I'm just thinking, because she's a teacher, paid professional or paid to be a teacher, why would you tell your students that? Because you're absolutely right. Like these girls who make these nail videos on YouTube and whatever, they're allowed to do nails to themselves. They're allowed to do nails on like their friends or whatever, but like they can't get paid for those services. But what happens behind closed doors, who's gonna know? And I know that that's like kind of how the world works. And like, I'm not saying like that's bad or anything like that, but you would think that like as someone who is being paid to be an instructor would maybe say that to their student. Like, hey, you know what? Don't do that. And also maybe kind of go into what happens if you get caught by the state board. If you're caught in a situation like that, because you can get your license revoked, or you can be prevented from ever getting your license. And we're coming into week 5. We just completed week 4, and schooling isn't technically done until February. It's like a 6 to 8 month like program. We're only 4 weeks in. She would still have to pay, for her student loans and things like that. As a teacher. And I guess that just shows me the like professionalism in this industry, and maybe kind of the area that I'm in, and maybe this is just me, but I know that if I were teaching a class, I would be very adamant to kind of go into, these are the things that could happen. Maybe don't do it. You use your own, your discretion to do whatever it is that you want to do, but I would suggest against it. I would get your state license. I think that's the main priority here. Because when we get into advanced skincare, that's when we're able to take clients. They will make appointments like with the school and whatnot, and then we can do service. Because it's nighttime, they usually don't come in, but we can then provide services and things like that. And I don't know how, like, when I go to European Wax Center, I'm not looking at my wax tech and I'm like, oh, what's your Instagram, so I can see what your wax jobs look, you know what I mean? Like, you just kind of have to read reviews and do your homework in that capacity. Anyway, like, I've never heard of a portfolio for waxing. It's just like a skill that you know how to do. You make a portfolio for your artwork, like your makeup and things like that. Potentially like your skincare, if you're doing something like really special or unique in your skincare. But anyway, so those kind of things just kind of were like a wake-up call to me that, like, it doesn't matter what grades you get. It doesn't, and I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just get your hours in, and that's it. And I don't know, because she'll play YouTube videos, and because the things that I'm like learning in these classes are things that I am already so well aware of, all I can think is just February, I'll be done. February, I will be done. And that's also made me realize that, like, I was kind of on the fence about disclosing like where I was going to school and things like that. All in all, I think I just want to let everybody know, lower your expectations when going into these trade schools. There's an incentive when you go to like a university or a state school or even community college by like getting good grades. You qualify for different types of scholarships, like that opens up for you. That doesn't apply in the trade schools, or at least for like esthetician, cosmetology, nail tech. You don't get any financial aid to become a nail technician. Only estheticians and cosmetologists are protected in that bubble. Just a straight nail tech. It's not recognized by the state board in that capacity yet. So you have to pay for that up front, out of pocket. And I don't know. I just, if you are like me and you like this field and you want to professionally provide services for people to kind of break into this industry in a professional level and not just like an amateur, if you will, it doesn't matter what school you go to. When you go and take your state board exam, they don't put what school you went to. They don't put what your GPA is. It's kind of similar from graduating from, college. Like, sure, it's really cool to say, like, oh, I graduated from like Harvard, or I graduated from UCLA, and sure, but when you get that first job, it's not going to be because you went to UCLA. It's just going to be because you qualify for that position. And usually they just, want cheaper labor. So if you don't have too much experience, that's also like kind of a plus. So I don't know. Those are just the things to think about when you look into going in. Just get your hours. And that's kind of what I learned by week 4. So let me know in the comments down below, what are some of your experiences with esthetician school? I love when you guys kind of come out and share your experiences with me. It makes me feel like less alone, because sometimes I feel like I'm being like a big giant hater. And I'm not trying to be. Like, I really want to enjoy this experience. I really want to get what I can from this experience, but everything is just kind of telling me it's all very surface level. Any actual like mastery that you want, you kind of have to achieve yourself. But if you liked hanging out with me today and you would like to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. I will have my playlist as well for all of the other episodes in the saga. And I don't know, like I can't believe that she played another YouTube video for me, and I'm going into financial debt, and the Supreme Court is just like, oh yeah, you know what, everybody has to pay their student debt, like screw you. So that's also very interesting. What is the world coming to is what I want to know. I have some other thoughts and opinions. I am so excited for Cyberpunk. I just count down the days, you know, just that's what I'm looking forward to the most. But I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.